Hi all, welcome to another Scissors at Home video. In this video I'm going to show you what we did for Valentine's Day. So the first recipe that I'm starting with is going to be the main dish, and that one's actually, I think that this recipe is from some social network, Twitter, no, TikTok. I don't know, I found it somewhere. I think even that it was even on the Pinterest. Basically, you take feta cheese, you put some spices, put it on olive oil, put the cherry tomatoes atop, add a little bit of crushed garlic, and I also add a little bit of stems of parsley and fresh basil, and I put it into the oven on 200 degrees Celsius. While that was baking in the oven, I have started to make the dessert, and my husband wished for me to make crepes or pancakes with cheese. So I'm starting by making normal gluten-free version of the crepe dough. So I'm using 2 eggs, approximately 2 cups of milk, pinch of salt, spoon of sugar, and squeeze of vanilla, and half a cup of gluten-free flour. Usually I use more rice-based, but this one was now more potato-based flour, and a splash of oil. So what I first do is I mix in the eggs with half a cup of milk. I put too much milk this time. Then I mix the rest of the ingredients, and at the end I add a bit more milk, and then I leave it on the side so that it rests a bit. And while my dough is resting, I have washed my salad for the appetizer, and now I'm letting it dry in a kitchen towel. Now, the appetizer was the favorite dish of my husband, and it's actually vegan, with main ingredient being sweet potatoes. So I took half a sweet potato, chopped the top off, and it's actually on my window now, growing some shoots. I peeled the sweet potato, and then I chopped it finely. You can chop it into even smaller bits if you want to, but this is the smallest that I wanted to go, because I like to have something under the tooth, as we would say. After potato has been diced, I'm going to add a little bit of oil into the dish, and then all of the sweet potato. And now I'm going to add salt, pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and some sweet paprika, of course, 2 pinches of the sweet paprika. And a little bit of maple syrup. Now this you can add how many you want. We don't like our sweet potato to be super sweet, so I just add a little bit that's like needed to give it a bit of oomph, but I don't put too much. And then I put it into my oven next to the main dish. And next ingredient for the appetizer is the grilled pickled paprika. This is store-bought. I didn't make my own paprika this year, but usually this is something that we like to make ourselves and we like to keep in the pantry. And I'm just going to dice it into the same, approximately the same sizes as my sweet potato. Now I'm going to go back to the pasta and boil some salty water. I have actually boiled the water in the kettle and then just added the salt to the pot and the boiling water. And then I'm going to add my spaghetti. In the clumsiest way, I have added it this year and last year, but okay, all the missing pieces were accounted for. And while my pasta is cooking, I'm going to start making my crepes. Now, since the dough has rested for some 15 or 20 minutes, I think, because it's gluten-free, it needs to rest, and after the rest it gets a bit thicker. And this was just at the right consistency that I needed to make nice thin crepes, or pancakes as we call them. And after some 10 more minutes after starting with crepes, I have made I think 2 or 3 crepes and my tomatoes were done. And I just quickly mixed my sweet potatoes so that it cooks a bit more evenly. And then just took my tomatoes out of the oven and I left them to cool a bit while I continued working on crepes. And now all that I'm doing is removing the bits and pieces that should not be there. So tomato stems, the skins of garlic, and also the stems of the herbs have done their job, so they can now be removed. And then when everything is removed, I'm just going to crush everything in the same dish that it was cooking in. I'm going to add it to my spaghetti that I took out of the water when they were done. And I have left a little bit of spaghetti water or the pasta water in 1 cup so that I can use it in case that I determine that my pasta sauce is too thick. This pasta is actually gluten-free pasta, so of course it will break a bit when you mix it, and that's kind of what gluten-free pasta does. And now we'll just try to see if it needs more seasoning, and add seasoning if you want it. And also add fresh herbs, so the leaves should now be put inside. I forgot that. Then I took the sweet potato out of the oven, and while it was cooling down, I have finished my crepes. And when my potato was cooled enough, I put in the chopped grilled paprika and then just mix it in, give it a bit more spices. Now, one of the paprikas that I was using was hot paprika, so if that's the case, then you don't need to add anything spicy. And I determined that it needs a bit more salt, so I added a bit more salt. Now, because the paprika was in the brine, it was sour, so I did not need to add any vinegar. And now the last step for the appetizer was to take the salad leaves that I liked and fill them up with the baked sweet potato salad. You could do this dish and it's very nice if you with fresh paprika. If you buy fresh paprika, then you would actually chop the paprika together with the sweet potato and bake it in the oven together, and then just add a little bit of vinegar so that it gets some acid. And the spices would be the same, so salt, pepper, cayenne pepper with the paprika. Next on my agenda was to make the filling for the cheese pancakes. So I added 6 tablespoons of cheese because I had 8 pancakes. And then I added 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I had a bit more than 2 tablespoons of sour cream, so I added it all, not to waste anything. And then I added in 2 eggs and then just roughly mixed it in before adding the rest of the ingredients, which were a good squeeze of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and a pinch of salt. And now I'm just going to thoroughly mix it in until it's all homogeneous. Then in my good old casserole dish, I'm going to start adding my pancakes. I'm going to add a good tablespoon and a bit more of the cheese mixture, and then roll the pancake up and put it into my dish. I again did not grease the dish for this because the pancakes were quite greasy, they weren't dry, so I didn't feel the need to put any. And that's it. I have used all of my filling for the pancakes. The only thing that's left to do was to sprinkle some brown sugar atop. I like to use brown sugar because it gives that molassy caramelly flavor, but you can put plain old sugar. And bake them on 200 degrees until they are looking like so. You can bake them a bit shorter, but the important thing is that the egg is cooked. While my pancakes were baking, I went and cleaned my table and then made our new flower arrangement with some beautiful pink roses and pink hypericum, a bit of wildflowers, aka weeds, and asparagus. So I just start with roses and crisscross them into the water, similar to what you would do if you were making a bouquet in your hand. And then when the roses are in, I added the hypericum and the wildflowers and the asparagus in the end. Then I put back my candles and my table runner, and I just lit the candles and I served us the dinner. I used my grandma's vintage plates to serve us the dinner for a bit more romantic feeling. I hope you give these dishes a try, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye. Happy Valentine's Day.